And what changes did you see through doing that?
Clarity in the mind. Yeah, definitely. Much more clarity in the mind. I guess like being consistent, like you spoke about how having a rhythm and a routine really pacifies vata, really pacifies the winds in our minds. And I guess for a long time, that was what has been missing in my life, that rhythm and routine, because I work like I teach based on my own schedule. Before this, my son had not been in school. He's only started school the past 2 months. So like that rhythm and routine was what grounded me.
Did your relationship with yourself change through this experience? And if it did, how did it change?
I guess the like when I noticed that my mind was calmer, I was able to see things better. I was able to I was able to be with things, and I was able to allow and accept things. I guess like and that's what I've noticed is the main thing I've been working on the past few months is allowing and accepting things as they are. And I notice when that happens, when you're allowing things, the body is not in contraction all the time, and the energy is able to flow better, and you're able to make decisions based on that, not from a place of contraction, but from a place of acceptance and like freedom in the body. And I feel like that is has shifted so many things. Yeah.
Mm, that's so wonderful. And also, that connects with what you were saying earlier about the rhythm and routine, because it is that rhythm and routine that gives, even though it feels in the beginning like contraction and restriction and rules and regulations, because we're not used to it, and suddenly we have to have a little bit of self discipline. What you're saying is a great example of how that then gives freedom.
Yeah.
So it's like in having a little bit of structure, all of this freedom comes
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
So, what about the Ayurvedic approach to health works for you and resonates with you and feels like something which is beneficial for you?
I guess it's actually the simplicity of it. It's funny how like now that I'm learning more about Ayurveda, you actually see that there's a lot of detail and science that's behind the whole study of Ayurveda, but the practices are so simple. The practices are so simple. The things that bring you into balance are the simplest things. And I guess like for even for me, for most people, and also for me, it's hard to wrap our heads around that. Like, how can something be so simple be the solution? Like we're always trying to find like, oh, it's like big thing to do or this complicated procedure to do. But I guess I've realized that it's actually the simplest things, but done consistently is what makes the most difference. And I guess like that is what really draws me to Ayurveda. And the whole like, oh, no judgments of good and bad. Yes, of course there are lists, but there's always like a leeway around that, and it's not like you have to do this all the time. You keep paying attention to how you're feeling and what's going on around you, and then make the decisions based on that. I guess like it's that, like it's the non-rigidity, it's the simplicity. Yeah.
So true. So true. So, if what would you say to someone who is thinking about joining Learn Your Body, and you came into this with already a knowledge of Ayurveda, but for people who are brand new to Ayurveda, who don't know what this thing is, who aren't really sure if it's for them, what would you say based on kind of your experience of going through this?
Just do it. And I know like that's it's I think having a good teacher makes a big difference to what course you're taking or what training you're taking. And like you've been one of my greatest teachers. The way you explain things and with such simplicity, but with so much compassion, um, it makes people easy to understand what you're telling them and what you're explaining. And it's very relatable in a way. So I feel like for me, like the teacher makes all the difference. And yeah, like just do it. You're an amazing teacher. Just do it.